Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Iseko, again, and today, as part of the Management by the Book series, we'll be talking about understanding systems as the basis for management. Systems, the basis for management. Now, it's important to understand that throughout life, there's a lot of evidence to show systems as the basis of everything, the basis of seed time, harvest, and that it seems as if every time we pray for something, what God answers with is with a system that perpetuates answers over and over again. In fact, I would dare say that most of the things that we ask for, there's already a system in place that guarantees that we get it. In fact, sometimes what we consider as miracles or break your protocol for our sake are actually systems that we have consciously or unconsciously followed. More often than not, when we have an output that we do not understand the system that produced it, we call that a miracle. But is it really? So a system is really a very important tool and bedrock of management on which every manager, every professional, every individual must base themselves, because it guarantees a lot of things and it guarantees a lot of results. So let's get right into it. Why should we have systems? I always say that systems could be an acronym as for save yourself stress, time, errors and efforts, and money. Save yourself stress, save yourself time, save yourself errors, save yourself efforts, save yourself money, save yourself frustration. The system is one of the basis of management. When you think of somebody juggling a ball, it seems easy. Three balls, two balls first, one ball first. It's easy. Taking it up, down, one, two, three. By the time it gets to 50, then you need a system to do that. To be able to do that, to be able to even take time off, and the balls will continue juggling. And so when we talk about management, this is one of the key things that we are considering in terms of a system. So save yourself stress, time, and money. So as a leader, as a manager, as somebody in charge, what often happens is that a client has a need, they go to God, they pray, and God reveals to a manager a system, an idea, something that transcends themselves, something that aims to deliver to the client value. And the next thing that the leader receives or understands must be able to translate that into a system. This system shows faith. This system shows that you believe in yourself. This system shows that you believe in what God has shown you. This system shows that you want this thing to perpetuate beyond you, because the goal of what you're trying to achieve is so important. And that system must pass through people. People must be able to latch onto it. People must be able to replace you. People must be able to grow from that system and then use the same system to reach clients. So sometimes it looks to me like God, somebody is praying somewhere now. Their children are having sickle cell crisis. They are having so many things. They are praying for an end to it. And somewhere, somehow, somebody has the answer in form of stem cell transplantation. But they don't know how to put it into a system. What you come in as a manager is to create that system. The system allows this person with the expertise, these people working, these cleaners, these admin staff to come together with people and create a system that perpetuates stem cell transplantation, not just for that person, but for every other person that could have that. And that's the whole idea of systems. It's like seeds and harvest and seed and harvest and seed and harvest and seed, almost irrespective of the farmer. But the farmer has to give it structure. And that is what the manager essentially, that's the role of the manager in this systems process. And this is how I want you to understand systems as a critical and integral part of management, of self-leadership, and of self-discipline. So we say, what is a system? A system can be looked at as an organized set of principles, protocols, procedures, processes, doctrines, and ideas. If you're able to organize your ideas in a format, in a way that it can be usable and it can produce, that is a system. If you're able to organize principles in a way, processes, policies, that is a system. Every institution, whether it is charity, religious, non-religious, whatsoever, if it's going to last the test of time and last the test of individuals and survive the proclivity and the idiosyncrasies of different people, then there must be a system that it delivers through. So it is a set of ideas but organized. If it's not organized, not a system. Not just organized, it must be written and able to be transferred. So it must be transferable. And in the Greek, it comes from systema, and synhistenia. Synhistenia is two words: to combine, to cause, to stand. That is when you combine these things, is able to stand. It is the bedrock of structure. When we say an organization, a church, an industry has structure, what we are saying is that they have an organized set of ways, of cultures, of doing certain things, and of ideas, of principles, and that cause it to stand, and to stand no matter what comes its way. So that is what we mean by a system. So the next question we ask is, why systems? Why systems? Okay, so why do we have systems? Number one, results are better because you're able to harness everybody's action in a coordinated manner. So people are not doing things that are opposite to each other. You're able to coordinate all the actions together, and this is quite critical for better results. You're able to harness ideas. You're able to pick up things. You're able to even pick up when things go wrong. You can put them together. Number two, results are consistent. They are more consistent. Unlike just coming and going. No, these results are more consistent. They are more long term. We can be sure that if there's too much salt in the food produced by this system, that there will always be too much salt. That is how consistent we want. That way, it helps to engender innovation and creativity because we have a set way of doing things. Then we can put in innovation, creativity, step upon step, precept upon precept. So it increases that innovation and creativity. Even though a system might look restrictive, I tell you, there can be no innovation and creativity if there is no stability. The first part of innovation is stability, and that's what you as a manager can bring in innovation, the system. It organizes how everybody does everything. When any innovation or creativity comes in, it can be added on as a block, and as a block that can be replicated across. And then it reduces key man risks. Key man risks are risks whereby a service, a product can only be delivered when somebody is around. If that person is not around, if that person is not available, that system ends. You cannot say it is called a system if it is dependent on only one person. If only one person can do it, no, it cannot be called a system. And that is one of the reasons why you are there as a manager, as a professional. Make sure that everything is written, is documented in a way that is easily transferable to the next generation, to the next set of people. The Bible says that you should read the law to your children at daytime, at nighttime, so that they will stay on the path. They can do it over and over again, and not that when one man dies, the law or the transmission of the precepts goes. So it reduces key man risks. We are able to perpetuate our system over years, over generations, because key man risk is reduced. If this person goes, it is easy to bring in somebody else to teach them, and so it improves onboarding. It also makes management easier. Everybody now knows what to do. Everybody knows what is expected of them. They are not looking over their shoulder and unsure whether they are doing right or wrong. Because management, and for you, the manager and the professional, you are able to now objectively measure people's work against something. Where there is no standard, you cannot assume. Bible says that where there is no law, there is no sin. You cannot say somebody is wrong if there is no standard. Many years ago, I moved to a new town as part of my one of my trainings, and it was very difficult. If you went like this, people said, no, that's not the way you're supposed to greet first. Then you went and greeted, they said, no, you're supposed to bow down. Please just write a book for God's sake. That way I can know what it is. So when you have a system, it's easier for you to manage, for the individuals to manage, staff to manage, even eases expectations from clients because they know exactly what to expect. Of course, when you get a new staff, it's easier to onboard. When you have to change somebody, it's easier when you have to move people around, it's easier to onboard, and it perpetuates itself. A system is not a system if it's unable to replicate itself. By itself, embedding a good system is the way for it to reproduce itself for the next and the next and the next. And so these are some of the things that we'll talk about when we talk about systems. All right, so what are the characteristics of a system? Number one, a system must be sacrosanct. It must be superior to everybody. It must be superior to every situation. Yes, it must still be responsive in that sometimes it does not fit the situation. But still, there must be reference and respect for the system. Nobody, no CEO, nobody must be superior to the system. No medical managing super director, whatever the person's title is. The system is superior to everyone and every time at every time. And this needs discipline, especially when you have power to override. Well, we can just do it this way and don't worry, I will sign it later. No, this is one of the key things of management. And I say system is what delivers miracles. System is the bedrock of management. So the discipline to make sure that the system is kept sacrosanct is the exclusive responsibility of the manager. That everything that is done through a system. Bible says in John 1:1 that nothing was done except through the word. And remember, we talked about the word being a form of a system, a compilation of an organized set of protocols, principles, of stories that are giving us a way to connect to God and to be saved and do the right things. That is a system. And the Bible says that nothing was done outside the word. Without the word was nothing done that was ever done. Same thing here. Without the system, nothing should be done that is done. If there is something that is being done, there's no system, we take it and we'll go and write it. If there's a better way, we go and improve on it. But we make sure that the system is sacrosanct and we are disciplined enough to follow it. Number two, it must be written. The Bible says that he may run that readeth it. That is, he may walk. Be doing their work. While they are doing their work, they can read it. So the system must be written and must be easily referenceable. If it is written and written only on the manager's computer and the other staff do not have access to it, it's not a system. If it's written only in one app somewhere and people do not have access to that app, or it's in one shelf somewhere and people don't have access to it, it is not a system. The system must be written and available to everyone. Why? It holds the manager and the leader responsible and accountable. People can come up to you and say, no, the system says that I am due for this and you are supposed to do it, and you will respect the system just like God respects his word. Number three, it must be taught and tested. It must be taught and tested regularly. You must teach it over and over again, at morning, at night, at every opportunity. You must take opportunity to teach it and to test it. Number four, it must be referenced. Being sacrosanct, it must be referenced. Anytime you want to punish, anytime you want to write a query, anytime you want to correct somebody, you must reference the system. And if there is no system, keep quiet. Bible says where there is no law, there is no sin. So that compilation must be referenced in everything. When you want to review an incident, you must have the discipline to reference the systems that have been written for your department or that you have added for your department. When you want to correct a problem, a complaint, an incident, you must either reference or go and write it so that you can now reference it in future. Number five, a system cannot be static. It must be constantly evolving and improved upon. Every time you get an incident, a problem, a complaint, a grievance, it is a pointer to places that your system needs improvement. It is not a point to punish anybody. It's not a point to get angry. It's a point to improve your system. And you're improving it for posterity, for the long haul. Okay, so we continue likewise. Okay, so like I was saying, now there are cardinal systems. And in my mind, there are five cardinal systems. Five cardinal systems. The first is management or leadership system. The organized set of principles, protocols, processes, calendars that a manager uses to deliver every other system. And that is the central and most important system. That is why John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. The first and most critical one is the management system. It starts with the manager, but the manager is not the only component of the system. And we'll go on to explain what these management systems are. Now, the other ones are number two, which is the next and most critical, is service delivery system. What steps do we take to deliver the service or the product that we have promised? To get guests to get their drugs, to get lab tests done, to get products delivered, to get people getting their orders fulfilled, to get DMs answered. What is the service delivery system? That when somebody walks in fact, parks in the car park, they have exactly what to do. There's a system that makes sure that they have the best experience and they have the best outcomes. Number 3 system is called the people system. The people system is very critical. It understates and underlines what, how, and where we manage people, how we make it better for people, what must happen for people to be happy, to be engaged, to be satisfied, to put in their best, to put in their effort joyfully. That is the people system. Number 4 is a very critical system. It's called the selling system. In the Bible, it is called the evangelical system, that you will start from Judea and go to Jerusalem. I mean, you start from Jerusalem and go to all the ends of the earth. Start from where you are. Every member of your department must be able to put up on their DP, social media, something about the hospital. It sells the system. No matter what, we cannot deliver a good people experience for the staff if this hospital is not known. They will not be proud of their workplace. They will not be able to get paid well. People will not come and use the services that we're offering. And then they will always complain. So they must be made to feel that they are a part of this system. This selling system is what gets people in the door. Is what makes people aware of that we exist. Is what is critical. Bible says go into all of the world. That you make sure that they know what it is. Go. In fact, the Bible talks about the feast, of how he told the servant to go and bring everybody from the byways, from the highways. Okay, so we must sell our company. We must sell our system. We must sell, this is what we can do. This is why we do what we do. This is who we are. That is a critical component, the selling system. I will go into each of these systems one by one, and the role that you as a professional, as a manager, must play to the company so that the company can become all it can be, and you can become all you can be. And number 5 is finance and control. I always say finance is the final frontier, profit is the final frontier. Bible talks about profit everywhere. He will teach you how to make profit. He will make your profiting appear to all. Profit is key. He talks about even servants or staff that were given things that did not make profit, how they are wicked and unfaithful. So profit is important, but not just profit. Control. Control makes sure that things that are the organization's property, the organization's resources are not wasted. They are not lost to theft. They are not lost to stupidity. They're not lost to wickedness or to carelessness, or just to incompetence. That we are able to control our losses and control our costs, but also to bring in revenue that will amount to profit. Because without profit, this service delivery will be difficult, managing people will be difficult, promoting people will be difficult, growing as an organization will be difficult, selling our system will be difficult, everything. But remember, everything falls and rises on the management system, which is the center and the most critical system of all the 5 cardinal systems. Okay, so what makes up a system? Number 1, a system has a group of steps. We do a number of things to be able to get a result, not so? Now, when we put all those steps together, it forms a process. Now, processes could be in 4 formats. Number 1, it could be in a calendar format, which is this step is performed on this day at this time. So it is a time-bound format, telling you what day, what time. On the second Saturday of every month, we will do, on the last Saturday of every month, we will do this kind of activity. On the 5th Saturday of every month, 4th Friday of every month, we will do this kind of review of all our data and see where we can improve upon. So calendar specifies things that must be done. On so day, it is somebody's birthday. That will form part of a people system. And the calendar has already pointed it out. So we know that we have 5 birthdays this month. And that is a process. The steps we take, put together. Now there's a policy. A policy is one that is just a non-sequential process. Lists out things that we ought to do, the way we do them, but not necessarily in a sequential manner. We have a checklist, which helps us to bypass the limits of human memory and to be able to remember everything that's related to a particular process. We have a form and we also have an SOP. SOP is the most common, where we say first we greet the person, then we take the person's name, then we introduce ourselves, things like that. Stepwise ways of delivering an outcome in a particular way. Now, when we put steps together, it forms a process. We put processes together, we form a stream or a value stream. So we organize all the processes. Remember, we defined a system as an organized set of policies, processes, ideas organized, that is sacrosanct, that is written, that is non-negotiable, that is supervised and monitored, that is a process, that is a system. So when you organize your processes and policies all together, related ones will come together as a stream. When you put all the streams together, that is what forms a system. And when you put all the systems together, that was what forms a company or an institution. When you put that together, that's what forms an industry, and industries together form a nation. So this institution has multiple systems. The systems has multiple value streams under them, which are collection of processes. The processes in different of their formats are on all grouped together in a value stream. The SOP has multiple steps under it. This is an overview of how a system functions and the integral part that a manager must play in delivering and making sure that these systems give us the best outcome. So, like we said earlier, somebody says everything rises and falls on leadership, but I say everything indeed rises and falls on systems, because it's the system. You will go as high as your goal you have set, but you will fall down to the level of the system that you have. If you find yourself shouting, frustrated, upset, chances are you do not have a system to deliver the outcome that you have set out to do. And this is critical. So, our first step of management is to understand that systems are everything. Systems deliver miracles. When you get a perfect system, you have gotten a miracle generating system. And indeed, everything, I mean everything, including making people smile, rises and falls on systems. Thank you very much, and hang on for yet another one. Have a nice day.